Listen, top four. A lot. We haven't seen Zayn for like 2 or 3 days. I hope he's well. Young Thomas, with all that energy, man, literally had so much chest. Pamela Anderson and Jordan were getting jealous. Now man's got no. We're calling him two backer because he got no chest, two backs. What are you saying? Still think it could go wrong, JJ, for Manchester United, as you all predicted it would?
Done. It's done, man. It's done. Look, I hoped a couple weeks ago. I was saying, look, I think Wolves might be able to do something, and that was my hope speaking. But there's 2 games left. I think both teams just need a point. You have 2 games in hand on us as well. I mean, look, if both Newcastle and Man United bottle it again, that's. I don't know. There needs to be a serious inquest into both teams, because we're criticizing Arsenal for their kind of do you know what I mean, their season and how it panned out. We got to tribute these teams with the same. We got to paint them with the same brush, and we got to treat them the same. So yeah, I just feel it was too little, too late for Liverpool this run. Yeah, we've won games, but on the whole, look, I think Liverpool haven't deserved to get Champions League this year. If we did, it would have been like a miracle. We haven't deserved it, and yes, it's done. I mean, look, anything can happen in football, but it will be a calamitous bottle job from Newcastle and Man United if that's to happen.
I think this is the shake that you needed, right? I think this is, and I was looking at it this way, right? I'm not a Liverpool fan. I think this missing on Champions League is the shake that you needed. Someone needed to shake this club and tell them, wake up. It's not great. It's not all great because you make Champions League every year. You need to compete. You need to renew the squad. And I think this is the, you know what I mean? This is the hate that you needed to wake up and for Jurgen Klopp to start being more active, more finding players, replacing the squad, because this run of form, I think, blinded a lot of people. So people started saying, yeah, we're good, we're okay. With a couple of signings, we're okay. And I'm like, oh no, they need to miss out on Champions League to know it's not okay. They will need a lot of players, and a lot of things need to happen in the summer for this club.
Yeah, hopefully we don't, Klopp's he's used some words talking about, we're going to make Europa our competition and that type of, like, I don't want to hear that now. Like, you say that, do you know what I mean, in January when we're potentially in the quarters and the round of 16. I don't want to hear that now when it's still on the line after the way. What I would have liked to see is Liverpool go all the way, and I think us kind of just dropping points to Villa at home last game of the season. It's just a bit like to be fair, I don't know if the Europa League's a big enough shake-up. I'm not sure. I think 8th would have been a shake-up. I think a lot of these players will look back, for me, and might be like, yeah, look what we managed to do. We still managed to get Europa, and they'll try to put a positive spin on it. So, yeah, I agree with the shake-up, though. I agree with that whole idea. I think, look, we don't deserve it. And I think it's a fair reflection on how our season's been, to be fair.
Can I ask, if Manchester United bottle it and Liverpool end up finishing in the top 4, does anybody here think that that's a bigger bottle job than Arsenal bottling the league?
Yes.
100%. From here, yes, of course.
You need 1 point from 2 home games. 1 point. That means
who have you got to play?
We've got Chelsea and Fulham at home. That means we do not have to win. We do not have to win, and we can make top 4. If we don't make top 4, it is a huge bottle job. Probably one of the biggest bottle jobs in flipping history. We want to talk about length of time in Arsenal on top of the league. The length of time Man United have been in the top 4 this season against what everyone thought it would do. We have to go get top 4. And I know Jerry's saying it's done. I'm saying it's not done until it's done, innit? Like, honestly, like the way that this season's been going, I don't think it will happen. I don't think
it will be done Thursday night. Man United will beat this Chelsea team. Chelsea have got nothing left. They are a broken team, and the only shock yesterday was City not scoring 3, 4, 5 goals past them. And I think that's because City, it was jelly and ice cream on title lifting day. It was a party. They weren't even playing. The commentators are trying to build it up before, which this is their job to do because Sky pay a lot of money. The players will be fighting for starting positions in the finals. Those starting lineups for the finals are already picked. barring injury. We all know who's going to be in them teams as an example. There'll be no Galaxy brain in. This Man United team will beat this Chelsea team. And I don't even, unless something mad happens, like 2 early red cards to Man United, they do not have the togetherness, the tactics, the manager, the goal scorers. I very rarely do these outlandish predictions, but there is less than 1% chance Chelsea beat Manchester United on Thursday night. Beat us. Because the
thing
points
is that
there's less done.
I don't care about winning. Honestly, obviously I want to win, because if we win this game, if we win the next 2 games, Ten Hag would have beaten Ollie's 2 full seasons, and so that puts the Ollie comparisons to bed. That's what I want to see. But if you're telling me that we just need 1 point, I don't flipping care. I don't care if we win, we draw, just get that 1 point. Because I'm not gonna listen. People were coming for me on the weekend, rightly so, for not believing, blah 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 blah. But the position that we was in, we've seen it time and time again. What I did not expect is that Liverpool draw. I was going into it thinking Liverpool would just win all of their games, because we have seen it before in the season where they got third in the end over Chelsea. They got the 10-game winning streak. Alisson with a mad header. You know what I'm saying? Like Alisson with the craziest header in the world to keep their hopes alive. I thought, you know what? That's just going to happen again. So I was very stressed. Many Man United fans were very stressed because we've seen it time before. Now that draw has come, and we just did 1 point, I now expect Manchester United to go and do that. If they can't get 1 point from 2 home games, I'll be very, very disappointed. I'll be very, very angry, and there'll be a lot of questions being asked. But I believe we will do it. I believe we can and go and get the 2 wins. And even though I was doubting before, the circumstances have changed.
My favorite part about this is the reason I'm so happy. I just want Thursday out the way, get the points, secure it, is because there's a lot of humble pie to be eaten by a lot of rival fans, and they've already the deflection tactic started weeks ago with, "Oh, your standards have fallen, Man United." You guys predicted us coming 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. It's nothing to do with our standards. You're meant to be Man United. You're meant to want more than top 4. We do, but we also recognize that we had our worst season in 40 odd years last year. We were broken. The dressing room was fractured. There was leaks galore. There's still been loads of problems this season because a lot of the issues are being resolved, and some of them won't be fixed until the owners sell and move on. There is the fact that when I've tweeted that this would be an overachievement league-wise in Ten Hag's first season, considering what he inherited, you get but you're Man United. Well, by like Carl B, that says our standards have fallen. I expect that every time it comes to a Man United prediction, I expect to see positive things from you. I expect to see everyone saying that Man United should be doing this. I don't ever expect to see again a negative prediction about our club, because that don't make sense if you're being intellectually honest with us. So I just can't wait for it, because there've been a big shocks this season. Arsenal being in the title race, Newcastle making the top 4 is sensational. But Man United winning a trophy, being in the FA Cup final and making it into the Champions League is as big a shock as any, because not a single, for me, I've seen one pundit. Somebody sent me for a pundit that predicted Man United in the top 4. People are using predictions from 3 years ago. They're taking a screenshot from the BBC from 3 years ago and go, no, loads of people predicted it. That is how desperate they are. And they hate it. They hate it that they have to put their hands up and say, fair play, I was wrong about Man United. And they
Kyle B, you're lying. Kyle B, you are chatting was. That is cap. That is cap. No one in the chat was giving Man United a hope and prayer. I remember Cam coming on the show multiple times saying that United will get top 4. And fair play to him, but he's the only one saying he will get top 4. And the chat were laughing at him, calling him deluded, saying there's no way he's on about. So for you to sit there and say, well, United fans said that Ten Hag was really good, so we just believed them. So we, of course,
but if everybody believed that, then it's we're going to do a lot more next season on the Terrace about holding people account based on what they predicted, as opposed to, well, no, I went with what, if we've convinced you, then your prediction still should have been Man United top 4. You didn't. Now, look at this. Terry's double standards exposed again. Show me my double standards, bro. Show me where there's the double standard. I'm not saying I know what you're going to say. I only know what you're typing right now. But Terry, you said that the ultimate goal is winning trophies, and winning the Premier is. I'm not. My thirst is not quenched through making it into the top 4. but it's a
What
stepping.
Terry's saying
It's a
is
stepping
trust the
stone.
process.
I am saying trust the process, because there was no way we were going to go from where we were last year and 10 years of failure to being as good as this Man City team in 1 year. And as I rinsed Lee Gunner with the other day and it destroyed him, show me a team the size of Man United that's had a decade away from challenging, that's had its worst season in 40 years, that's had a new manager come in and gone straight in and won the Premier, whatever league they're in. It's never happened. I can't. No one. And if there's an example out there, it'll be rare. But how often? It doesn't happen. So you have to celebrate the stepping stones. Still demand we improve and demand the standards get higher. But you can be happy with progression. I stand by it. Say you can't be happy with progression. You were 13 points ahead.
And this,
but we didn't bottle it. But we didn't bottle it. What does that matter?
But this is the thing, though. On one hand, we got people in the chat saying, actually, no, we all expected it. But then, how could you expect it when we're saying you're 13 points ahead and we almost bottled it? That means we're crap. So that means that we shouldn't be there, right? That means that it's a surprise that we're here because we know that we could have bottled it. Like, come on, guys. Like, you guys are better than this. Come on, guys. You guys are better than this. Stop trying to find ways to banter us.
Yeah, that's it. There's loads of great ones in here. Terry, this is my favorite. One of my favorites. Terry didn't want Ollie sacked. What was my reason? Because I wasn't confident that the Glazers would pick a manager that would be able to come in and get us back to the top. And what have I said all year? The only way Ten Hag gets us back to the top is if the Glazers sell. So again, there's no double standard in that. You've just honestly embarrassed your father. He should have pulled out. This year says, turn it in, Terry. You said 7th or 8th because CR 37 was at your club. Facts. But that wasn't the only reason. I put that down as a reason that I didn't think we had a recognized striker. And there was also problems that were going on. And I didn't like the way they were being handled. Those problems surfaced midway through the season or a third of the way through the season. And the player had to be moved on. We have surpassed my expectations. My predictions for Man United this year are wrong. We've done much better than I thought we would do this year. You defended him and pointed to his 18 goals. Still, he trashed your club. So so again, your comment seems to contradict itself halfway through. So you're saying I said we would come 6 or 7 because of Cristiano Ronaldo.
They said so. People.
Oh, right. I didn't. You know,
that's not true though.
That isn't.
But that's not true. People weren't saying it. Maybe you would have. But people weren't saying it because CR37 was at the club. People were saying it because we were just outright crap. And then someone said, someone said here, like, Casemiro wasn't there at the start of the season. But even when Casemiro came, people called him washed. People said that he was only there for a payday, that he wouldn't do nothing. He wouldn't achieve nothing at Manchester United. So what are we doing here?
Also in January on this show, when we were doing well, did anyone think Man United can make the top 4? The entire panel, most of the comment, no chance, no chance, no chance. You'll fall off. So it wasn't like people changed them. It wasn't like I saw you all. And by the way, Kay, look, I respect my viewers. I recognize all your names. I don't remember any of you sitting there going, I think your team is going to prove us wrong. They look really good. We'll think you make top 4. None of you were saying it. So you can't backtrack now. The only thing for you to say is, like I did with my Arsenal prediction to win the league, hold my hands up, got it wrong. Why can none of you say you were wrong? What is it? Why can none of you admit that Man United have overachieved based on your prediction? Forget what Man United's overarching expectation should be based on your predictions, you, the Football Terrace community. Why can't you just hold your hands up and say I was wrong? Man United are better than I expected. Why can't you do that? Come on now. Terry in the mud where everyone's predictions Terry in the mud when everyone's predictions next year is 4 or 5 teams tied at first place since everyone's expected it. Well, that isn't it though, is it? Well, yeah. Well, it's not Terry. Well, yeah, me in the mud because it's based on all. Yeah, that's actually true. I get where you're coming from there. Yeah, it makes no sense. You give your predictions and then you stick to them. It's like everyone said to me the other day, Gary Neville's so right about Arsenal. He was right, they wouldn't win the league. But he said that they would only be in a top 4 race after Christmas, that United would overtake them. And after the first few weeks of the season, said they wouldn't sustain it and would fall away. So this is the thing. Just because you get one prediction right doesn't mean everything you say is the gospel truth. I get things wrong all the time. I can admit it. But a handful of you in the comment section, why so rattled? Why so rattled? I can understand why JJ's rattled because, Man United, just surpassed the greatest team in his club's history.